So the Switch 2 just got its first Nintendo Direct just a couple of days ago, and it was a little concerning. Just to mention some pros real quick about the Switch 2, we can first look at the standard 256GB storage model, which is a literal 8 times increase from the original Switch 1. And also some games can go up to 120 FPS and 4K on some TVs, which I honestly would have never thought 4K and Nintendo would fit in the same sentence, but here we are, thankfully. We also got a little camera, probably for like ranked jerkmate or something with your friends, fans on the dock of the Switch, which is pretty dope, I guess, and a 2-second reveal of Silksong, which honestly, I'm just glad this game exists. I thought this game would just exist in a shadow realm for the next 10 years, but Nintendo brought it to life, and that is one less concern in my life, so thank you, Nintendo. And genuinely, I applaud Nintendo for doing this. These are not just small respects I have, these are major respects, because Nintendo does not have to do this. They went out of their way to give us 4K resolution on a Nintendo console, 120 FPS, a standard 256GB model. It's a lot for Nintendo. Nintendo in the past couple of years have gotten away with under-delivering by giving their fans scrap, and they can afford to, cause they're Nintendo. And by scraps, I mean the little scraps that kids are going to receive this year, because the Switch 2 is going to be priced at $449. Before we get into how much the games will actually cost, because that's a whole other fiasco, let's talk about the implications and consequences of a Nintendo console costing $449. A major selling point for the Switch 1 and basically Nintendo in general is being kid-friendly while also having mature messaging or gameplay to attract older audiences as well. And $449 is not kid-friendly at all. A parent is way more willing to spend $300 on their kid rather than $449 if we're being completely honest. I mean, if I were a parent, I wouldn't spend $449 on a console that my kid will probably break the next day. So I think a lot of parents and their strategy is just going to be to get an old Switch, a hand-me-down Switch, and give it to them for Christmas, because I do not see a lot of parents spending $449 on their kid, if we're being honest, just for a console. Which makes me believe that the Switch 2 sales are going to look like a little pebble compared to the boulder that is the Switch 1 if we're regarding sales. And I don't expect any console in the next 20 years to beat the Switch 1 sales, as I can make an entire video on how the Switch 1 was just the perfect idea for a console. But I don't think this will scratch the surface to the Switch 1's success, as the creativity, price, and overall reception is just not all the way there for this console. And the other thing that just boggles my tiny little mind is the price of the new Switch 2 titles, which is $80 goddamn dollars. I complained around 2 weeks ago about GTA 6 and some video game analysts setting the price at $100, and although $100 is a lot for GTA 6, I don't think that's a bad price point at all. But come on, seriously, Nintendo, do you honestly expect me to pay $80 for Mario Kart World? I know this is a sort of standard that you want to set, but you have to spare us a little bit. And this is what I ultimately fear when it comes to raising the price of games. It's opening Pandora's box when you start to elevate the cost of video games. Gaming studios are going to start to see that Nintendo is getting away with pricing their little Mario Party game at $80, and they will just tag along on the screw everyone over train, and everybody will go homeless. $80 will lead to 90, 90 to 100, 110 to 120, and then bankruptcy, because that's what happens when you lose your sight of humanity, dear Nintendo. Well, talking about games, we got, of course, Mario Kart 10 or Mario Kart World, because they did a kind of like iPhone X naming scheme thing. It's crazy because it's the first Mario Kart that will introduce a 24-card track, which sounds really fun and chaotic at the same time. I actually can't wait to play it. Also Donkey Kong Bonanza, which looks cool as well. I've never been the biggest Donkey Kong fan, but other people online love it. And old Switch 1 games will now get an enhanced version for the Switch 2 that will offer exclusive features, better graphics, and just generally more content. Games like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Super Mario Party Jamboree, and Legend ZA and Metroid 4. Now, if you already own one of these games, you can upgrade it for the Switch 2 enhanced versions regardless if it's physical or digital, but it will cost money. Yeah, you knew these weren't going to be free. My guess would be around a $20 enhanced pack. I hope it's less, but most likely they're going to put it at a pretty compy price. And also for my quirky Zelda fans, you will get a Zelda Notes, which is an addition to the Nintendo Switch app that allows you to have a GPS on your real-life phone for the enhanced Switch 2 versions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. A woman literally talks to you as if it were an actual GPS. I don't understand it. Seems absolutely pointless to me, but that's there, I guess. And also some very interesting ports are coming to Nintendo Switch that I would have never expected in a million years. So that's also coming, like Elden Ring for the Switch, which I honestly might get. Imagine playing Elden Ring on the go. I know we had these computer handhelds or whatever, but come on, those don't count. And also Cyberpunk 2077, which unless your Switch is going to feel like a hot stove in your hands or it's going to be on like the lowest setting possible, I don't see it, but that sounds cool as well. Final Fantasy VII Remake is also coming as well with the Switch 2, along with the DLC, and although we can't get Rebirth, which would probably be way too much to ask for, at least we're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's good enough. There are also other games that were announced, but I don't really care about them. So, oh, Silksong, that one. It was revealed, I guess, not really announced. Let's just talk about the camera. Yeah, Nintendo couldn't think of anything else to give us, so they gave us an Xbox Connect in 2025. It's also something, I guess. Apparently, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have a video chat feature where up to 4 people can show their faces and play at the same time. You know, Nintendo, you could have just added Discord, which is more than 4 people, but get your bag, I guess. Or not, because I don't think a single person is gonna buy this camera. Who the hell wants to buy this? Please tell me. This is useless. A $50 accessory just so you can see your friends jerk off. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. This isn't going to sell at all. I'm sure the camera will offer other features in the future that are more useful than just video chats, but I don't know. I just don't think anybody's going to buy this. God, I hope so. Also, the Switch 2 will offer fans in the dock. Looks nicer as well. Round little corners. A little more of the screen peeking out when it's docked. Pretty nice. Also, there will be new Pro controllers for the Switch 2, priced at $80, which is $10 more than the Switch 1 Pros, and also has 2 action buttons in the back. My guess is that you wouldn't be able to remap them, but if you can, then it might be worth a $10 price bump. The Switch 2 Joy-Cons will also cost $90 now, which is a $10 increase from the original Joy-Cons, but I don't really see the reasoning for the price bump here, but you do you, Nintendo. Now let's talk about things that Nintendo won't do with their new console, like adding a new UI, despite it being 7-8 years and it being an entirely new console, which is just, I don't know. Not to mention Nintendo not bringing up anything about home themes, which again, 7-8 years, no rumors, no leaks, no nothing. I don't know if Nintendo's just jacking off, but they know that people want home themes. We only have black and white. I hope we don't have black and white for another decade. At this point, I don't blame people for homebrewing their Switch. Like, I might do it alone just for the themes. I'm playing Nintendo. It's a joke. And this is what the Nintendo Switch 2 will come with. Just your typical run-of-the-mill stuff. And also, there will be 2 types of purchases you can make relating to the console. One being the normal Switch for $449, and the other being the Switch 2 with a copy of Mario Kart World for $499, which is definitely worth it in my opinion, because you're saving $30 if you are planning to buy the new Mario Kart World anyways. Mario Kart World is hands down going to be the best selling console on the Switch 2, especially with the bundle. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, Mario Kart 9 was for the OG Switch, so it would make sense. Well, with that sort of concluded, the console will come out June 5th and pre-orders start April 9th, so that's pretty much around the corner. So future me here, as of the recording of this video, there will actually not be pre-orders April 9th, which is unprecedented in Nintendo history. Usually when Nintendo says they're going to be a pre-order, there is a pre-order. But in this case, it is not. Nintendo formally announced that they will not be doing pre-orders anymore because of the Trump tariffs. So that's a bummer. You can disregard April 9th from your calendar. That is no longer an important date. I think in other countries, maybe, I think UK will still do it April 8th, although I am not entirely sure. So, you know, make sure to fact check with me on that. But as of, like, I know America and maybe other countries, maybe Canada, I don't know. There will not be pre-orders April 9th, just so you know. And look, as much as I bashed the Nintendo Switch 2, I am still going to buy it. I am a Nintendo consumer at the end of the day. I grew up with Nintendo, and I will continue to grow with it. But there are obviously flaws with this new console. Even if you extremely love Nintendo at heart, you have to be able to acknowledge the bad and the wrongs that Nintendo have done with this console. And I certainly believe that the price point of $449 would be the Switch 2's greatest weakness, as it exempts millions from buying the console, as you aren't going to see many kids on this. Now, I would bet my life that down the line, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have some sort of light version that will maybe cost $350, because as of right now, a younger audience will not be able to experience this console, but maybe in like 2 years or so, you can get a light version, and I think kids can get on it. As of right now, though, absolutely not. All in all, I'm still happy about the 1/4 terabyte of storage that we're going to get. Also, along with the 4K resolution on TVs and 120 frames per second, it could always be worse, and I believe that the Switch 2 is well worth its price point. I still look at the new console as more of a Switch Pro rather than a second reiteration of the Switch, as it's just a Switch but better and a little more expensive. Anyways, what do you guys think about the console? Will you guys be buying it? Will you not? Do you think everything surrounding this console is just an expensive cash grab by Nintendo? And if you are buying it, please let me know what game you're looking most forward to play. I know a lot of people are probably going to say Mario Kart World. For me personally, I think it's just Silksong. Subscribe if you watched until this point. I would heavily appreciate it. And drink more water. And don't wear baggy jeans. They don't look good. And I'm not talking about loose fit. I wear loose fit. I'm talking about like baggy, like, You know that Squidward meme where he eats like all the Krabby Patties like that. That's how it looks on some of you guys. Like I think you guys need to chill on the bagginess. Like that it like touches the floor. Like to me, that's where it gets crazy, you know? Don't wear baggy jeans, guys, or too overly baggy jeans. I think baggy is fine, just not you guys get what I mean. Anyways, bye.